Welcome to this short video about USDA National Institute of Food and Agriculture's AFRI A1713 program, which is called Rapid Response to Emerging and Re-emerging Pest and Disease Events Across Food and Agricultural Systems. In this video, we will highlight application information for this program. We also encourage applicants to view our other videos about A1713 and to check out our webpage for more information and resources. The project types for A1713 are research extension or integrated research and extension projects. The grant types for this program include standard grants and strengthening standard grants. Phase grants are the Food and Agricultural Science Enhancement grants. We provide more details about project types and grant types on the following slides. A standard grant supports targeted original scientific research, education, extension, or projects that integrate any of these components. It is one of the 5 main categories of grant types across AFRI. Food and Agricultural Science Enhancement Grants, also known as FASE, strengthen science capabilities in research, education, and/or extension programs. FASE grants are designed to help institutions develop competitive projects and to attract new scientists and educators into careers in high-priority areas of national need in agriculture, food, and environmental sciences. FASE grants provide support for pre- and postdoctoral fellowships, new investigators, and strengthening grants, which is a grant type for the AFRI Response to Emerging and Re-emerging Pest and Disease Events program. The strengthening grant is one type of phase grant. A strengthening grant is expected to enhance institutional capacity with the goal of leading to future funding in the project area, as well as strengthen the competitiveness of the investigator's research, education, and/or extension activities. The work proposed for strengthening grants must address specific program area priorities described under program area descriptions in the AFRI RFA. All applications submitted for strengthening grants must fulfill the eligibility requirements. In this video, we will only focus on specific parts of the AFRI Foundational and Applied Science RFA. Those sections are denoted with an asterisk, which are parts 1, 3, 4, and 5. However, we strongly encourage applicants to familiarize themselves with the contents in the entire RFA. The RFA is organized in the following sections: Executive Summary, Updates, Table of Contents, and Table of Tables. Part 1 includes funding opportunity descriptions. Part 2, Award Information. Part 3, Eligibility Information. Part 4, Application and Submission Information. Part 5, Application Review Requirements. Part 6, Award Administration. Part 7, Other Information, as well as the included appendices. In Part 1 of the AFRI RFA, applicants will find information about the Rapid Response to Emerging and Re-emerging Pest and Disease Event Programs Standard and Strengthening Standard, or FASE, grant types. This information includes the funding amount, the number of awards, the duration of the award, the project type, and the application deadline. We anticipate awarding up to $500,000 per project, which includes indirect costs, in numerous awards for project periods of 12 to 24 months. For standard and strengthening standard grants, eligible project types include research projects, extension projects, or integrated research and extension projects. Applications will be accepted on a continuous basis and are dependent upon effects associated with the emergence or reemergence of pests and/or disease. Applications must be submitted with 180 calendar days of events associated with the emergence or reemergence of a pest and/or disease. Following submission, to ensure the application is processed in a timely manner, applicants are strongly encouraged to notify the Rapid Response Program team by sending an email to the email address listed in the RFA and at the end of this video. Innovative applied research, extension, and integrated efforts are needed to alleviate the impacts of emerging and re-emerging pests and diseases across the food and agricultural system. These strategies should provide rapid knowledge related to the origin of the pest disease emergence, characteristics of the pest, disease, or strain, and provide information that assists individuals and communities in preventing the further spread of disease and/or mitigating the impacts of emergence, reemergence in ways that protect America's farming communities and continue to ensure the availability of an accessible, safe, nutritious, affordable, and abundant food supply. Funded projects are expected to implement applied research, extension, and/or integrated activities to provide solutions that may include rapid understanding of the ecology, epidemiology, immunology, and/or fate and transport of a new pest or pathogen, proof of concept or validation of detection methods, diagnostics, vaccines, therapeutics, and/or other control methods, trainings, communication strategies, tools and technologies, and development of best practices for the prevention, mitigation, and/or management of disease. Proposals are encouraged to integrate youth and adult volunteer development aspects by leveraging existing extension networks and outreach programs, including 4-H and positive youth development efforts. Multi-state proposals are suitable and public-private partnerships are welcome. There must be a high likelihood that project activities will be implemented rapidly within the first 6 months of the project. Applications must address one or more of the following emphasis areas: One Health, plant and animal health, ecosystem health. Although multiple submissions from a single institution are accepted, applicants are encouraged to coordinate and collaborate where possible. In project narratives, applicants must include a statement about the timing, relevance, and impact of the emergence or reemergence incident that is being responded to. Applicants applying to this program should know that the justification of how the project addresses a critical and urgent stakeholder need must be included in the project narrative. Applicants must address effects associated with the emergence or reemergence of pests and/or disease in animal, food, or plant production systems, or environmental health and productivity no more than 180 days prior to submission within a nation or a specific region, state, area, or industry. And finally, we encourage applications from and collaboration with minority-serving institutions, small to mid-sized institutions, and/or institutions within EPSCoR states. For information about the purpose of the A1713 program, we encourage applicants to view our other videos about this program and to check out our webpage. We strongly encourage applicants to familiarize themselves with the information presented in the AFRI RFA regarding eligibility. Applicants must meet all requirements discussed in the AFRI RFA. Eligible applicants for single-function research or extension projects are listed on this slide and include state agricultural experiment stations, colleges and universities, university research foundations, other research institutions and organizations, federal agencies, national laboratories, private organizations or corporations, individuals who are U.S. citizens, nationals, or permanent residents, and any group consisting of 2 or more entities identified in this list. Eligible applicants for integrated projects, extension and research are listed on this slide and include colleges and universities, 1994 land-grant institutions, and Hispanic-serving agricultural colleges and universities. For further clarity on the terms college and university, applicants are encouraged to review Part 3, Section A of the AFRI RFA. Applicants must respond to the program area priorities and deadlines found in Part 1, Section C of the RFA. Grant recipients may subcontract to organizations not eligible to apply, provided such organizations are necessary to conduct the project. Failure to meet an eligibility criterion of the application deadline may result in the application being excluded from consideration, or, even though an application may be reviewed, will preclude NIFA from making an award. We encourage potential applicants to review Part 3, Section B of the AFRI RFA. Applicants must take note of the application process and prepare their application to be in line with NIFA's submission requirements as listed in Part 3 of the AFRI RFA. The project narrative for the standard and strengthening standard application must not exceed a total of 7 pages. The application must be submitted within 180 days of events associated with the emergence or reemergence of pest and/or disease in animal, food, and/or plant production systems, or environmental health and productivity within the nation or a specific region, state, area, or industry. Within the project narrative, applicants must include a statement about the timing, relevance, and impact of the emergence or reemergence incident that is being responded to. For an integrated extension and research applications, applicants should refer to the specific eligibility and content requirements in Part 3, Section A of the AFRI RFA. Applicants must ensure their application meets all other requirements in Part 4 of the AFRI-RFA. Following submission, to ensure the application is processed in a timely manner, applicants are strongly encouraged to notify the Rapid Response Team by sending an email to the email address listed on this slide, in the RFA, and at the end of this video. Here is the general timeline for the Standard and Strengthening Standard grants for the AFRI Rapid Response to Emerging and Re-emerging Pest and Disease Events program. Rapidly responding to disease emergence or reemergence is a core focus of A1713, and the review timeline reflects NIFA's commitment to rapid response activities. Within days of effects associated with the emergence or reemergence of pest and/or disease in animals, food, or plant production systems, or environmental health and productivity within the nation or a specific region, state, area, or industry, an applicant will prepare and submit an application. Applicants must include a statement about timing, relevance, and impact of the emergence or reemergence incident that is being responded to. Applications will be accepted on a continuous basis. Once an application is received, NIFA manages the peer review process of the proposal, which will take approximately 35 days. Finally, over the course of no less than 7 days, the funding notification is made and award is finalized and made. Again, this is a general timeline. We will keep applicants updated as much as possible, but do appreciate patience. Applications for the Standard and Strengthening Standard phase grants for the AFRI Rapid Response to Disease program will go through 4 steps in the review process. First, an application will be screened to ensure it meets program priorities and fits the program. Applications must be tied to the emergence or reemergence of pests or disease in animals, food, or plant production systems, or environmental health and productivity within the nation or a specific region, state, area, or industry. For an application that meets program priorities, it will be assigned to 3 reviewers with expertise in the proposed topic. Then reviewers will review the application and produce individual reviews evaluating its strengths and weaknesses. And finally, NIFA will use the written reviews to make an award decision. For more information, contact our team or visit the A1713 webpage. We also encourage applicants to view our other videos about A1713. This concludes our introductory video about the AFRI A1713 program. Thanks for watching! In accordance with federal civil rights law and U.S. Department of Agriculture civil rights regulations and policies, the USDA, its agencies, offices, and employees, and institutions participating in or administering USDA programs are prohibited from discriminating based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, age, marital status, family parental status, income derived from a public assistance program, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity in any program or activity conducted or funded by USDA. Not all bases apply for all programs. Remedies and complaint filing deadlines may vary by program or incident.